Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dede. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is a live show on ustream.tv with a live audience where I'm interacting and chatting. And yes, we chat a lot with a live audience. So we're going to go ahead and start a new page in the Mouse Guard color book. And I'm going to be using Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons and my new Luminance color pencils. So usually how I start a page, and let me just show you what I've got done on this so far. I do have a couple things done, and I'm going to zoom in when I start to color. Did the little emblems in the front of the book, and then I've already colored this one. And I think when I zoom in, guys, the color will stay locked in. I have light locked it in. It's not locking in. I don't know. Anyway, so this one I've colored, and this one I just finished this morning. I could do maybe just a couple little bit more details, but I'm pretty much finished with this one. Let me go ahead and I'll zoom in just a minute. And now I think we're going to go ahead and start on another one. I don't know if it's going to be this one. I never color in order. I'm just saying, I don't color front to back. So, yeah, I like to go all over the book, whatever strikes me as I want to color. I'm not going to color all these bones right now. That's a double page spread. Here's a little castle. I do want to find something with a mouse in it. This book has just got tons and tons of animals and, of course, the mice. And so, yeah, this one's kind of cool with all the little stained glass. These would probably be good because they have, like, the different mice, and in the story there's like a gray one, a brown one, a red one, a cream I mean, there's different colors, and I'm not really following, and like I forget what the order is, but I think it's the gray, no, it's not the gray one that has the red cloak. Anyway, the different color mice have different color cloaks, and they coordinate with their, what color they are, and in the story, but I'm not worried about that. This would probably be a good one to color just because you could see everything. So what I'm saying is I'm not going by necessarily the story. Like the story, this one may be brown with the, whatever color. I'm not going by the story. I'm just coloring them whatever color I want. So that being said, this one would probably be a good one. There's just so many. Here's one with the bee, and this one has all the trees. And I've done a flip through this book. I've done a flip through it, so I'm not going to do the whole book right now. So I think we're going to go ahead and maybe go with this. Yeah, that's an axe. He's got an axe, and it's got like probably a leather strap, woven around it. So, yeah. So I think we'll go with this one. So with that being said, I'm going to zoom in. So take a good look at the full page there, because I'm going to zoom in now so that you can, and I'll try to move, let me refocus. I'm going to try to, move around and get, show different, let's see if I can get it to really focus, guys. Where's my Sherry card? It's wanting to focus. Here. Come on. It's wanting to focus. It does for a second. When it does, I'll try to lock it in. Come on. Oh, nope, didn't quite make it. Hang on, guys. I really wanted to focus well for you guys. Come on. Tricky business being this close. All right, that looks pretty good, I think. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so, yeah. So what I'm going to do is Whoa, 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 whoa! I have it all of a focus lock. Don't be messing with me now. Don't be messing with me, camera. All right. I'm moving the card away. Yeah, but it keeps. All right, I'll try again, Jean. It's not wanting to do anything. All right, we'll go with that. Hopefully that's good. All right, so I'm going to start with, and I think I did, let's see, did I do the last one was brown. Let's go with a gray mouse. I think we're going to go with him. See, it just flashed again, Jean, and I have it locked in. I'm thinking something might be wrong with this camera because it's not wanting to light lock. It's not wanting to stay focused when I lock in the focus. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. But anyway, let's just move on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with him being gray. See? It doesn't want to lock in. All right. Okay. You think it looks all right? All right. So I'm going to do him gray. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start with Neo Colors, okay, Neo Color 2, and I'm going to start with the water brush. Now I've shown y'all before, you can scratch off some color on like a porcelain tray and pick it up that way, or you can, you know, I don't really color right directly on and then move it around. I just take it off of the tip here like this, right? And I'm going to do a wash. Now, oh wait, let me put a card behind. This won't sink through, but I always put a card behind it just to make sure. This is not watercolor paper. It's thicker paper, but it's not watercolor paper. So if you oversaturate this, you're going to start seeing it start to pill or dot, you know, like where the water is getting on the paper. So when you do the wash to initially start this, you're going to have to, it's best to do it in quick, like, you know, areas and dry it in between. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're just going to, now I may only need one, you know, I want his ear to be pink on the inside, but it's going to come, the fur is going to come across the top. So I'm just going to put a wash of gray, and I'm just kind of moving it out like this. Again, now, see that line right there? It's not going to react just like watercolor paper would. You got to realize this is just paper. But I want to start a wash, so I'm going to go all in kind of the shadowed areas like this to start with. Okay, and I'll try to keep moving around. And then we'll go in and we're going to do shading with the luminance. Again, I know I say it all the time. Yes, I am repeating myself. You have to let this dry. You have to let it dry 100% before you start putting any kind of pencil on top. If you try to put pencil on it right now while it's wet, you're just going to, it's not going to work. You're going to dig, unless it's a watercolor pencil, which we're not going to be using. But you're just going to be digging into the paper, either tearing the paper. It's just not going to work. You got to let it dry. Yeah, you got to let it dry. So we're just going to do a little bit of a wash on his little face. And again, there's certain colors for certain mice in the storyline. I'm not following the colors in the storyline. I'm just coloring whatever colors I want. So I'm sure that David Petersen is not going to email me. So I'm just starting with just a nice little gray area here. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Okay. Just get a little start going here, and then I'll probably switch to a lighter gray. I want to get a full wash on here. And his little nose, I think I'll have a little pink on his nose and pink in his ears. And his little hands and his feet will be pink too. Okay. And I think his robe, I might do his robe a dark, deep blue. Because he looks like he's some kind of, got some kind of royal something. Or he might just be a guard with fancy clothes. I don't know. All right, so under the little bit of his robe here, you can see a little bit of his fur under there. So I'm just going to get in there. The light wash. Yes, I'm the boss of my mouse cards. Yes. Good one, Jean. Oh, good one. So, yeah. So we'll work on this for about an hour. Okay. All right. Hubster's off today. Then we're going to go out. We're going to go to the bookstore. That's usually what we do after Christmas. We go to the bookstore. So we're going to do that after this show. So I'll have books to show y'all next time. All right, so I'm just getting all the little bits of fur that I see around. And remember, we talked about last show, I think it was, trying to stay in camera here, how we, if you're doing multiple color books, it's a good idea to have a sheet of paper or another little separate little sketchbook or some kind of little book where you color or just do a swatch of your color that you're using on that page, and write down the page number or the page you're coloring if you're doing multiple color books at the same time, because you can forget. Not only I forgot sometimes what medium I'm using. I'm using Neocolor and Prisma in one, Neocolor and Luminance in another. You might forget what colors and what stuff you're using on those pages, so it's probably a good idea to note it. Now, when I'm cleaning off my water brush, the best thing to clean off a water brush to me is a Kleenex, because it just kind of pulls the pigment right out of it. Hey, Sarah, anybody else popping in? North End? Is that North by Northwest? Hey, Marilyn. Anybody else? Thanks for being here, guys. All right, so now that we got at least the initial dark colors of gray, I am going to go with the lighter gray. And this, let's tell you the names of them if I can. This one's, I can't, it's black on gray. Can't read that one. And this one is just called light gray. So again, these are the Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons. If you get Neocolor 1s, they're just wax crayons and they will not move with water. So I just want to put a little, just to get a little bit of the white paper back away from it around the edges here. It's very light. You can probably barely see it on camera. Okay, because I'm going to go in here with pencil, right? Northern Norway. Okay, well, welcome, Northern Norway. Anybody else? Hey, Barb, Carol, TMT. Anybody else? Hey, Deb Boring. Anybody else popping in that I might have missed? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take a peach color. Let's go with a peach color. Let's see here. There goes Hubster out the door again. Need a scratch paper. Okay. And this one is pink. It's just pink. I'm just going to take a pink. I think I'm going to scratch some off on my tray. In my porcelain tray here. It really is easier to pick up if you scratch it off on a porcelain tray like this. You can just load your brush up real quick, I found anyway, but either way you want to do it. All right, so I'm going to put a little pink on his little nose, and then where's my Kleenex? And then I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of gray and just kind of go right around the eye and the nose a little. Hey, Jamie. Anybody else popping in? And I want to do his little hands. And again, this is just a little light wash to start with. You know, sometimes I'll probably start with just pencil. Sometimes it's a wash. It could be, you know, multiple things. It's very light, but that's what I want. Very light. Here's his little feet. I'm just scratching it off on the tray and then picking up as much as I want like that. It's very light. It's a little darker in person, but all right, let's try again here. There we go. Swoons over the pink nose. You like the little pink nose, yeah. All right, and then I'm going to go inside of his ear too. Okay, and again, it's just a, you know, actually these pages right here do not take as long as you might think. I mean, when I did this one, let me go back over here. This didn't take that long. Because it's, you know, once you do a wash on it, like right here, I just did a light blue wash and 2 shades of pencil. That was it. I mean, you can take it as far as you want. You know, it's you're the boss of your color book, right? All right, so now let me go back with a little bit more light gray. I'm going to push some out on the tray here and pick it up. And the reason you want to do this in layers is because this paper, you can see how it's kind of dotting right there. It's just paper. It's not watercolor paper. However, I found, especially on the little mouse fur, it really kind of gives it a little extra furry effect with those little kind of splotchy bits. That's happening because of the paper, not because of the pigment. Okay, the little splotchy bits you see, it's because the paper is getting saturated, and it's just paper, okay? Gosh, I need to fix my fingernail. I just saw that. All right, so now I'm going to hit it with the heat gun and get it nice and dry. All right, heat gun. If you have any questions, put it in caps. Okay, I'm not putting pencil on it right now, but I want it nice and dry so I can keep moving on. All right. And I'm going to keep trying. I'm zoomed in so you can see really well, but that means I have to keep moving the book around so you can see the different areas that I'm working on. Okay, so the next thing I think I want to do is his like bit of, you know, jacket, cloak, whatever his clothes. He's got a cloak and these like kind of strips of, I don't know if that would be like leather. It could be. I could color it like those are strips of leather, like that's probably what it's supposed to be. But you know, you don't have to do what, you can do whatever you want. So let's see here. Do I want, this is a bronze. I don't really want any kind of metallic. Let's don't go with that. Let's go with the same color that looks kind of a sienna color, which is russet. I'm thinking I want that russet, like a leather, to start out with just a wash. So I'm gonna put some in the little porcelain tray, because see how you can pick up as much as you want when it's scraped out. You can get as thin or as much as you want. You can get a lot or a little. Okay. So I think I'm going to start with just a nice wash of a russet color, just to get it blocked in. Just a little bit over there on the side. Okay, Melody, I'm going to watch on the iPad. Okay, thanks for watching, however you're watching, everybody that's watching. And I just keep, just add a little bit more, scrape a little bit more out, and pick it up with the brush. Doesn't have to be a porcelain tray. It can be any non-porous surface, just so you can kind of scrape it out and then pick it up like that. And I think I'm going to have him have like maybe a dark blue cape. I think the colors that they have in the book are red, yellow. I'm trying to think of them right now. And each character has their own color, so you can recognize in the graphic novels. You can recognize the mice right off. But again, I'm not trying to necessarily go along with the story. All right. All right, so now I think, what color blue? I want a nice dark rich blue, purpley blue. Let's see, what color is this one? I can't read it. It's black on dark blue, so I think it's a purple color. It's kind of a royal purple, and there we go. That's what I want. Oops, sorry guys. When I'm so zoomed in, I really have to focus on where the camera is. So it has a lot of pointillism, like dots, like woodcut look. So it kind of looks like an old-fashioned woodcut. So you got a lot of shading already there kind of for you. Can y'all see all right? His feet look scary down. Well, they're mice, so, they have big feet because, they're tiny, they're tiny little creatures. And there really are quite large areas of color. If you really break it down, you can see there's big chunks of one color. How Surratt of them, yes, Marilyn. Pointillism, yes. I think it's supposed to look like a woodcut. The old-fashioned woodcut, wood block printing is, I think, the look that he was going for. I haven't read his book. I got his book for Christmas, so I have to read his sketchbook notes. All right, so you can kind of see, you can get in there and shade a little darker, although most of my shading is going to be done with the pencil, right? All righty. Let's go on this side. But when you have any kind of color book that's already got the shading for you, you can see how it looks lighter or darker wherever the shading is already done for you. And I'm not squeezing out any water out of the water brush. No squeezy. Okay, I think some of the cloak is showing behind him there. It's a little bit there. Trying to see behind him. And I know I'm real zoomed in so you can see the detail. I think you could see a little bit of pink inside of his ear there. So let's go ahead and clean my brush off first. And a little bit of pink right in his ear right there. I need to put my tray down here so it doesn't keep rattling. There we go. Somewhere, because I have to keep moving the book, so I have to have room to move the book. Are you going to use it? No, I'm going to use the luminance on this, Eileen. That's what I used on this page here. I used the luminance on this page right here. And I know it wants to flash out. Let's go back. come back in. Yeah. Okay, so back over here. All right, so now I think I want a darker leather on this bit here. It's like the little leather strip is kind of coming off there. It could be just cloth, but I'm going to color it leather. I'm going to color it leather. So let's color, and then this color is, can't read it, sorry. It's black writing on brown paper. I can't read it. So I'm going to go ahead and just color that in. Oh, good. Yeah. It makes it go a little quicker too when you can do washes. Whether you use acrylic, whether you use watercolor, ink tints, Eileen. if you use a wash, it goes a little quicker in the page. Not that you have to go quick, but you know, we try to go a little faster here on stream so we get a little bit more done quicker. But you know, some pages even, you know, especially like Bennett Klein with the detail, take a real long time. And I was going to show you those again. I forgot. And changing all the camera thing and all that, I completely forgot. So we'll do that on the next Bennett Klein show. Something, all my Luminance cast color pencils. I'm not sure what. Oh, you mean because Kathy uses Luminance? Yeah, I know she does. I think that's her favorite, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if she's still here. Yeah. Is that your favorite pencil, Kathy Cass? The Luminance? I would not have been using them if I had not got them for Christmas. Just saying. They're too expensive. So, but I'm using them because I got them for Christmas. So, don't worry. We're going to still be using Prismacolors. We'll just have different projects with different pencils. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that. Just as a base. Hey, Teresa, Crafting Chaos. Hey, Miss Rose. Lurking. Away from, okay, Miss Rose. Yeah, Kathy says that's her favorite. Okay, so now the wood in the background, I'm going to want another color because see, this is the two colors I've used a brown so far. This is the russet that I've been using here. Then this is the, wish I could read it for you guys. Burnt sienna. It's so hard to read black writing on this dark thing. So that's what I'm using on this bit here. Now the wood in the background here, I'm going to want another color wood. So let's see, I think maybe I could go with an orange color. An oranger, this is called English red. It may be too, let's test it. Oh, it's pretty good. It's a burnt orange color. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be all right. Yeah, it might be too close to this one. Maybe I'll go with, let me kind of wipe that out a little. Okay, let's go with, sorry, I bumped my head on it. Maybe you want to go with more of a yellow ochre color wood as a base, because we're going to shade. So let's maybe do that. Because I don't want to all, I want them to all be a little bit different. Maybe I'll mix the two. Maybe we'll have a little bit of yellow and orange. That's what we'll do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the English red and the yellow ochre color. I think it's called yellow ochre. Let's see. Golden ochre. And I'm going to use those two colors and mix those two colors there. So it's just a little bit darker than the yellow ochre. but not as same color as that. To get this wood cabinet back here done. Kind of like a light oak, you know, like you see the old library catalogs. That's what this reminds me of, although this is probably weapons or something else in this cabinet. Let me put a little more yellow ochre down. But it's like the light oak color is where I was heading. Cass says she likes how smooth they are and the different colors. Yeah, they are very smooth, aren't they? Very smooth. So I'm just going to do a little light and dark shades of the Kathy's talking about the luminance. So just going to keep making this a nice little light oak. I'm just scratching off some more onto the tray. Whoops, sorry. That was a little loud. Yes, I'm not sure if it's a library card catalog or not, Marilyn, but that's what it kind of looks like. But like I said, in the world of Mouse Guard, it's probably something to, you know, a place to keep weapons or, you know, something, something else, not, not a library card catalog. So yeah, let's make this side a little darker over here, a little bit more. And the thing about the porcelain tray, I'm not almost out of now. The thing about the porcelain tray, if you're just using watercolor washes in it, you can just totally clean this out. This will just I can take a baby wipe and just completely get all this watercolor out. Oops, where am I there? See, I'm just putting a little of the two colors here. More yellow than orange. Okay, so I think that's good on that. The floor, it has some kind of design on it, but I'm going to go with still like even a gray, kind of a darker gray floor with maybe a green motif, like a nice olive or something. Let's see about that. Let's maybe have olive color. And this is olive, olive brown. And I want kind of an olive color in these like almost circular designs in here. And maybe a light gray floor, like stone floor. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Jean. Okay. Just a couple little spots there. That was awesome news. Okay, now let's see. What gray do I want? A dark, dark gray. I don't want to lose all the... Let's just do a little test here, how that's going to look on the dark gray. I probably should scratch it off. Maybe I'll just leave... Well, I could probably put a little pigmented, some white dot, white Posca to do some little stone effects in there later. See, I don't want to lose that purple next to the gray. Hey, Laura. Anybody else coming in? Thanks for stopping in. We're just coloring a page in Mouse Guard. And I'm just doing a wash of Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons before I go in with Luminance color pencils, which I got for Christmas. Okay. Then I'm probably going to want the steel of this axe of gray too. Let's just put a little bit on there. So you can kind of see we're just getting it washed in there. Okay, that looks like that's going to be the top of the cabinet. So let me go back with the wood color again. And there's probably some drapes and who knows what else. Okay, that's going to be that's going to be wood too. I think I'll go with the color that I used on the his clothing here, that brown, which is, I'm trying to keep all the wood a little bit different colors there, just to separate them out. Okay, let's go back with the gray. This is going to be metal right here, holding the axe handle. Okay, now I got to decide what kind. Probably, do I want this going to be silver, gold, brass, the little metal bits on him? Hey Juanita, good to see you. Good to see you too. All right, let's see. His shirt, his undershirt under the cloak. What color do I want that? I want something to kind of stand out, Although it would probably technically be brown or something. Let's go with maybe a lavender, because we got this rich dark purple. Let's see. For the shirt, maybe if we did a nice, that might be too much the same. Yeah, it's going to be too much. It needs to be a lavender color, like a purpley color. Yeah, it's better. See, it's just another shade of purple under there. And that right there, that's his cloak tie. Let me go back to the dark purple for see how the cloak goes through this little hook thing here and hangs down? That's part of his cloak. So let's get that in there. Now go back to the lavender on the sleeves. That's pretty much all you see. Just a little bit. Maybe that will be lavender there too. Because he's going to have, these are all metallic things hanging off of him. A belt. Some kind of a metal belt there. And I can't tell what else he's got going on under his cloak. But yeah, he's got all kinds of magic going on under there. Alright, so these are all the colors that we've used so far, just so you can see how many colors we've used. We've used all these colors right here so far. I used to date a royal rat, Marilyn. So I'm thinking, do I want this to be silver, a silvery color, which is not, light gray, or I could also use a gel pen or a Winkastella on top of that to make it shine after the fact, after we're done. So I think maybe I will go with a very light gray just to start, and then maybe the belt, the little beads or whatever it is, I don't know if I want that to be metal. It probably would be metal. You can probably barely see this, guys. I mean, it's barely changing the paper. That would probably be metal bits too, although I'm tempted to make them like beads, like something fancier, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do them silver for now, and then put Winkastella on it to make them shine after we get all done. Oh, got a little bit of a foot right there. Let's go back to the pink. Get that little bit of foot. Missed a piece of his foot right there. You like it so far? Okay. There. Okay. Moving on up. Okay, so the background, this again, back in these days it wouldn't have, it'd probably be very dull. But I want to do it more. All right, so it looks like a window or a tapestry. It's probably a tapestry there showing this little soldier guy on a tapestry. So if it's a tapestry, we could do it like a little extra brighter. I can't really tell what's over here. It looks like some stonework. I think let me go with the dark gray here on this stonework in the background. Right there. Not sure what's going on. You got to kind of guess. That could probably maybe be, not sure. Could be a cauldron to hold fire. Not sure. This could be a fireplace back there. I mean, you can color it anything you want, I know it is such a cute color book. I love it. Mouse Guard. All right, so let's see. I'm not sure what's going to go on back here. Again, it could be, it looks like some words right there, like the words here, so it could probably be another tapestry back there. You could almost just color it some colors and then indicate like that this is a tapestry, that's a tapestry. Or it could be something else going on. I don't know. It could maybe there might be a picture in the book that would indicate, in one of the books. But I'm going to go over here. This looks like he's wearing some chainmail. I'm going to do his chainmail gray, but I'm going to do his cloak and everything a little bit brighter because this looks like a tapestry. So I'm going to kind of do that a little brighter. I'll probably maybe put either some Wink of Stella on the chain here, the chainmail or the armor, or some white highlights. So let's see. Let's do a... I'm not sure if that's the hat. I think that's just it there. Okay, so we're going to do him a different color. So we'll do him a brown color. So just going to put a light wash. There's a sword. We'll do him a brown color. Okay. And again, this is just the wash before we use the luminance. The color. Yeah. Okay, and then his little feet, again, I'm going to go with pink little feet. Got a little brown still left in that's okay. All right, then his shield here. Could be a brass shield. We could do it a different color than the silver. And then he's got a cloak and a sword. So let's see. Let's go with the light gray for the sword. Again, we will shade it darker once we get the base on there. All right, let's see. Because I'm not sure. We'll just color that background like a stained glass window. That's what I'm going to do anyway. Like blues and greens, like he's outside. Think outside the box, bright colors. Yes. That's what I'm doing, the bright outside. All right, so let's go with, I think he's going to have, let's go with a red cloak. A brighter red. I don't want pink. Let's see what color that. Here we go. Okay, so this is ruby red. Ruby red cloak here. And I think let me go around the outside of the tapestries with maybe like a royal, like a nice dark green. That's too, let's see here. Okay, I think I'll go with a, it's just called dark green. So I think I'm going to go with a dark green tapestry. I'm not sure if this line right here is part of the tapestry. Could be a curtain around the tapestry. So I'm going to go with a nice dark green. Just to make it stand out. Do you like using the Neos for backgrounds? As coloring with them as crayon? No, I don't use them as like, I don't color with them. They're too pigmented. Let me, here. They're so pigmented, like just that much right there. Look how much pigment that is. See, one little scrape. It's so pigmented. I'm coloring in here in a tray, like this, and picking it up. It's they last forever, guys. I'm telling you. If I had to have one watercolor medium of my choice, it would be the Neo Color 2s, because they're so versatile. They go so far, you know. They just go so far. I mean, you can do that. Don't get me wrong. You can do that, but it's kind of a waste, you know, because they go so far. Yeah. All right, so let's go back. And you can color little sections, like that's the, you know, different bits of stained glass behind there. And same thing for over here, because I can't really tell what that's supposed to be. I think there's writing right here, so I'm thinking that there's another. See, you can see the writing right there, like you see right there. So I'm thinking that's another part of the tapestry. You know what? I think no, I wanted that to be the, what do you call it? To be green. The, like the, if there's a curtain that the tapestries were behind, they'd probably be protected from smoke. That's just my imagination. They'd probably have some kind of curtains over the tapestries to protect them from smoke. But I'm thinking that this, like these backgrounds here, I can't really tell if that's what that is. So I'm just going to color a little bit of green in some areas just to kind of tie it together, so you can kind of say, oh, that's a tapestry. That must be a tapestry there too, although it might not be. All right. And then I think I'll go with a nice couple of blues here. Go with I think this is just light blue. Yeah, light blue right here. Like behind him in the sky here. In a couple areas. And then I'll put another shade of blue in between. Because if it looks supposed to look like a stained glass, I mean, I know I'm saying it's a tapestry, but let's just say it's a tapestry that's made to look like a stained glass. I don't know. I don't know. That's where we're going with it. They're decorative. They're decorative of some sort. Okay, so like that. Then I want another couple shades of blue. Let's get a dark, like a true blue here. And then a little bit of blue in here. A little bit of blue in there. Just a different hue. If you want to make them permanent, you can use matte medium instead of water to activate the pigment. Okay, thanks, Jean. The only thing is I like using a water brush. I'm not going to put any matte medium in this baby. I like using the water brush, so I guess if you just want to use a regular brush, you could do that, you know. And dip it in it. The thing about the water brush for me, it's easy to control the water. I know exactly how much water is coming out. Don't squeeze it, but I know exactly how much water is flowing off of this. So I know how much to put on here. If I'm dipping a brush in something, you gotta take a little bit of practice with how much you're picking up. All right, then that's part of that wall there. Let's see what else. Okay. That could almost, I could almost do that green. I think I'm going to. I think it's part of the wall, but I'm going to do it green. That and right here. Kind of tie those two areas together. And then the color of the actual, where the words are. There. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Jean, don't be making me put matte medium in here. Or just like I almost had to buy you a new metal die, you'll be buying me a new brush. Okay, let's see. I think I want a brighter green. Let's go with, I know, we'll just go with a jean color here. Let's go with a nice kind of lime with a little bit of, just to have that tapestry. Or the stain, whatever it is, have a little bit more color. Okay, and then I think this needs to be a little bit of wood back in here, like more cabinetry, like that cabinet's carrying all the way across from here to here. Yeah, I knew that'd make you giggle, Jean. And then this, like it would be out if it was outside, but I want it to cut more colorful. I think I'm going to go with maybe orange. I might go with an orange, a bright orange. I'm just trying to add as much, a little bit of color where I can. And then I'll shade it with a few shades of brown or tan or something. Behind in there, and then over here. Again, I have no idea what all this is supposed to be, so we just color it. All right. I think I want a little bit. I still want more green or something over there. Or it could be some more of the cabinetry. Let's just put a little bit of brown right there. Okay. All right. I'll go with a little bit of brown on the, and a little, I think I'm just going to go with brown behind him. Because he's a gray mouse, the brown will look kind of stand out, separate from his fur. Okay. I think we got everything pretty much blocked in. A couple little areas we'll play with pencil. All right, so let's go ahead and clean that off. Hey, LBO. Okay, so let's pick this up real quick. So don't go rolling off my table. Quick pickup here, guys, because everything will go rolling. Alrighty. Alright, so you ordered Bennett Klein's new book, Greatest Hits. Super excited. Yay, LBO. I mean, Laura. So it looks kind of pale, but it's a little darker in person. Again, you know, the light lock issue. And light's always an issue. All right, so now I'm going to hit it with the heat gun to make sure it's real dry. And it does have a little bit of a, buckles a little bit, remember, because we're using water. It is buckling just a little, not enough. It doesn't bother me, but again, if any kind of buckling on any kind of color book bothers you, you probably don't want to use any water medium unless it's a watercolor paper book, okay? All right, so now I'm going to move my Neo colors off the table. and go to my luminance, which I just showed on the previous video. So I'm not going to show them all now because I just showed them a few minutes ago. If you just got here, I recorded the whole unboxing of them. All right, so let's move this out of the way. All right, so now, and I'll try my best to read the colors, but as we talked about earlier, like let's say, oh, Hubster's back from the garage again. Okay, so like I want probably a nice dark, maybe a purple and a blue. Let's go with both of them. Because I got to test, I haven't, I need to swatch and, play with the colors and blending them and stuff. So I might just do a little test. I have a little piece of paper here. It's cream color. I really should do it with white. Let me get a white. Because if I'm going to blend colors, I need to see them. Here's a piece of, just a piece of scratch. A little piece of scratch paper here. So if I'm going to test colors, like here's the purple color I'm talking about. And here's the, it's a blue color. I want to see how they overlap, you see? I don't know the proper, how, I just got them. So I've only played with them a little bit to see how well, what colors you can mix and get. So these two colors that I'm playing with here are violet, I can't read it, violet brown. It says violet brown. And then this one, because it's like silver writing on wood. If I had one thing I would tell them to change, it would be that. So you could read them. Is that phthalo? No, I can't. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to chart them out for you and get my magnifying glass out and write the names down. I can't see them. I cannot see the names. Look, you just can't read them on that. It's silver on wood. Okay, so let's just carry on for now because we're just doing a little test. So what I want to do, I got both pencils in my hand. I want to do a little bit of that purple color in some of the shadowed areas. See, like this, and I'm barely pushing down. The pigment's coming right off. They're very smooth, very smooth. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of that. I think it's called purple brown. They're Swiss, and so they may have a little bit of different names, rather than like just violet or whatever. And I think they actually have the Swiss name on them too. But, yeah, they're very hard to read. That's true, Eileen. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit. Again, I'll swatch them out and write the names out so that when I go to use them, I can go, oh, that's that color. And I'll have the name right next to it because right now I can't read them. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow with this. Can y'all see where it's coloring on top of the... I tried to change cameras, and unless I reboot, I couldn't change cameras. So that's why we're not on Trippy the tripod. Or we'd be on Trippy. Yes. So just adding a nice little... And, you can take as much time as you want to do all this. Can y'all tell the difference? I hope you can tell the difference. It's very subtle. That's one of the things, you add that watercolor wash, then you just kind of start shading on top of it. Do they go dull quickly? I don't know what you mean, Jean. Go dull? My Prismacolors don't go dull. Maybe I'm not understanding your terminology, Jean. Maybe. Go dull. I don't find that the Prismacolors go dull, Jean. Am I missing something, Miss Sassy Pants? I'm probably just not understanding what you're asking. Very light layers. So you already have some shading there in the pointillism or the wood cut look of the page.
No cheese?
No thanks, honey.
More coffee?
Yeah, I'll take more coffee. Thank you. Oh, you can, oh, never mind, you got that. Thank you. Hubster's off today. We're going to go out as soon as I get done here. No, and that is something I don't find that you have to sharpen as often. It seems like they last. I mean, you don't have to sharpen. You can see it's getting a little dull down, but it doesn't. You don't have to sharpen as often. Do they lose their? Oh, okay, okay. Does the point dull? Okay, Jean, I'm thinking of the color intensity or something. Okay, sorry, Jean. See, I knew. I just didn't understand. Okay, what I found, my little sharpening bowl here. I use the wider sharpened edge and 2 twists, and look how pointy that is. Can you see how sharp that is? Let me do the other one. Look. Now that might break if that I might have got it. But anyway, all right, so here we go, like that. Now 2 twists. 1, 2. See how pointy that is? There's no, I tell you, you're not going to have a breakage issue with this. Do you see how sharp that is? And I'm using the fat end. They're a little wider pencil. So use the fatter, if you have a double sharpener like that, use the wider one. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, I didn't know what you meant, Jean. Now I do. You meant, does the point dull down? Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over here, and I'm still... They're very creamy. Creamy is the best word to describe them. They're very creamy. Now, how well they all blend together amongst themselves, how well they, I haven't played with them enough to do that. I've only just done a cursory overlay. I haven't tried to do a portrait or anything with them. All I've done is use them in the color book. So I haven't played with them enough to tell you about blendability. Kathy Cass could probably tell you more about, using them on a portrait or something like that. I haven't used them enough. I just got them. All I've done is this one bit right here. This is all I've done, is color on top of a wash. This is all I've done. Just played with them just that little bit. And what I'm doing here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the blue, and I want to just add a little tiny bit of blue. Now and it's with any pencil, don't bear down. I just want to add a little touch of royal blue in there. And see, this is where I can do a little test of blending. And I'm barely touching it, and you can see the blue. Look at the blue right there, just barely touching it. And it's laying down that blue. Can you see that? So I'm just adding a little bit of blue with the dark purple. Just here and there in the very shadows there. Just to give it a kind of a purple, dark blue, purpley, velvety look. Although technically this is probably some kind of a tweed almost. As far as accuracy of the times, But, we're the boss of our color book. We can do what we want. So you can see it? Thanks, Margaret. Can you layer? Can you? I don't. Oh, Cass says you can layer more than Prism. Okay. Well, that would be awesome to see, because I can probably get at least 10 layers of Prismacolor. So if you can get more than that, that's awesome, Kathy. See that little bit of blue I'm just adding on top of the purple? See, here's the purple. Can you tell right there? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a third color and kind of mix them together. just kind of giving it a little bit more rich color to it, you know. But these pencils are not cheap, guys. I would not have bought them myself if I hadn't got them for Christmas. You know, just saying. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you they're, you know, get Prismacolors if you can't. You know, we're not going to stop coloring with Prismacolors. So, all right, back to a little bit of blue in there. And I mean, I wish you could see how lightly, I mean, look, I can hold it way back here. See how lightly I'm doing that? Very lightly. But I'm going on top of some watercolor wash, which gives it a little bit more tooth. Okay, it gives it just a little bit of tooth to the paper with the watercolor wash. So, you know, that's one of the things about colored pencil on top of either acrylic or watercolor, is that gives you a little bit of tooth on your paper's not just slick white paper that, you know, it just gives it tooth. That's just the best way to describe it. Okay. But they are very, very creamy to color with. All right, so I think I've gone everywhere with a little bit of the blue. Can y'all see those two colors there? All right, so now I'm going to take a very light blue. Let's see which one. It can maybe a gray or a blue. Let's see. Because the grays have some good, well, the grays have some almost blue-gray looks to them. Like here's the light blue, and then these are all grays right in here. See all the grays? Love me some grays. Lots of grays. Okay, so I think I'm going to go, let me just do a little test here. Is that going to be too blue? Maybe not. All I really want to do now is, there's the purple and the blue, and I just almost kind of want to just kind of give it a little blend. Don't need much, because they really worked well together. Those two colors played well together. So again, let me see how when you sharpen it, look, two twist, and look at that. See how sharp that is? Use the big side. So I'm just adding a little bit of blending. And I haven't tried the, Kathy, do you like the blending tool? Do you have any tips to give us, Kathy Arbor? If y'all don't follow her on Ustream and YouTube, she does awesome coloring, and she's more proficient. I mean, I just started with these. Kathy, I call it, because her name's Kathy, but she's Cass here. So that's why you hear me saying Kathy Arbor on YouTube. Y'all go follow the awesomeness. That is Kathy. So I'm asking her about the blender. Blender pencil. Let me sharpen this one here. So okay, I just snapped mine in half. Okay. Don't snap yours in half. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll sharpen both ends. Hey, Mad Rat. Okay, LBO. All right, so I'm sharpening my little snapped in half blender. Because it's not a pencil, guys. It's not a pencil. It's like some kind of rubbery stuff. It's probably the pigment without pigment. So I'm just sharpening it because it's the only thing not sharpened. And I'm just wondering if she has any tips on the blender. You don't use a blending tool. Okay. I don't use the one in Prisma. So, but I wanted to kind of just see here. Let's just see if I can. Well, you know what? Let's do a test. Let's do a test on the paper here. Let's put down, now remember there's no watercolor wash on here, so there's no extra tooth. So I'm going to just kind of put a couple of, let's do a little test here. Let's see how the blender goes. Because I don't use the blender pencil in Prismacolor. It is blending, but I don't know how much better it blends with the blender than it would me just using, you have to do, Kathy said, I do many layers, so you don't need to use it? Yeah, I don't know. She said she didn't use the blender. So it does blend right there, you can see. See? I don't know how well it blended two colors together, but it blends out the texture. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's see here. All right, so there's just the texture of the pencil on the paper, and it seems to get rid of the pencil texture. But I'm having to work at it a little bit. And it could be the paper, you know, every paper's different. I think you'd have to put a little bit more pigment in there, I think. Let's put a little of the blue on there too. Now I'll go back in with the blender. You know, I just haven't done it enough to talk about it really, you know. It's going to be like when I do my Copics, guys. When I do Copics, we're going to start using some Copics. I don't use them, so we're going to all learn together. Because, I mean, I've not picked them up and done a little bit of, nothing I can speak of. You know, Cameron's the Copic kid. Oh, and speaking of, I had pictures to show you guys. I forgot. All right, so yeah, it does blend, guys. It does blend. But I don't know that I would think that it blends any better than me blending it myself. I haven't done enough with it yet. Right? Yeah, put your link in there. Janet streams at 1. Now, I probably won't be able to make it, Janet, because Hubster's in the back. Well, he's not really rushing me, but he's back there going, I want to go out today. Let's get crack-a-lack in there, Miss Dede. He wants to go out. So, you know, I can't stream too much longer since he's off work today. So, yeah. So, can y'all see where I've added that blue right there? See how it kind of brightens it up a little? I hope. You're just learning alcohol markers. It's such hard work. Mad that. Well, we'll see. We're going to do it together. I think I'm going to start in February. That's when my birthday is. That's when, I'll be stocking up on my on Copics. It won't be probably till February because we just had Christmas, people. I got to play with my luminance for a while. All right, so I'm just kind of doing a little touch here and there. I don't even know if y'all can tell the difference because it's subtle, which is what I want, right? I want it to be that subtle. That's why we're doing these nice little light layers. But it looks pretty good. And remember, we also in the back, you know, they've got a lot of dots, you know, little pointillism stuff going on already. So when I'm coloring on this, I'm actually getting rid of the pointillism because I'm covering it up, right? So you have to think about that. This kind of color, this particular color book, and some others that are like grayscale, depending on how much pencil you put on it, you're getting rid of that grayscale. You're covering it up, right? So you have to, you know, how much do you want to get rid of the grayscale? How much do I want to get rid of this pointillism? Because it's you can still see it, but it's lightening it up. Can you see? Then again, you only have 8. That rat. Then again, I only have 8. Yeah, no, he's not quite pacing back and forth outside my art room. I can smell he cooks some. See, I wanted him to take me to Waffle House, but now he's already eaten, so I think I'm out of luck on the Waffle House. Because he's eating down there. I smell he's eating something. He cooked something. Okay, so see just that little bit of light on top? We'll work for a few more minutes, guys. I'll probably work for about 15 more minutes. That's it. I'll stay for 15 more minutes. Oh, what was I going to show? Oh, I was going to show y'all pictures. Wait, before we go on, I got to show a couple pictures. It's going to be really close up, but I'm going to show them anyway. First off, I want to thank everybody that sent me a Christmas card. Here's my pantry door with all my Christmas cards. And Vern. There's Vern hanging on the door. But thank you all for all my Christmas cards. Let me just scroll. I'm on the iPad, so there we go. Thanks everybody for all my Christmas cards. And then let's see, what else did I want to show you? Oh, yeah, here's my Boo. I took a picture of Boo and a picture of Cam, and I superimposed Merry Christmas over their pictures so they could send them to their friends. So here's Boo. There's Boo, and see how I put Merry Christmas? I put Merry Christmas over the top of her so she could send this to her friends. And then I did the same thing for Cam. He was working here at my art table, working on projects. And so I put Merry Christmas over that, and there he is working. And yeah, so he could send this to his friends. And then, let's see, is that it? Oh, one more. Annie posted this on Facebook. There's, this is my daughter in LA. There's Annie, Dan, Logan, their little dog right there. So there's, and it is a little fuzzy, guys, because I'm zoomed in and it doesn't want to focus. So yeah, so there's Annie and Dan and Logan. There's their Christmas picture they posted on Facebook. And I think that's all I wanted to show. Okay, we're done. Sorry, little Nana trail. Hi, Steffi. Yeah, my hubby's off today too. He's pacing the floor waiting for me to go. So yeah. Well, but I'm gonna work about 15 more minutes. All right, let's do a little bit of this leather real quick. Okay, so again, let me come over here to the browns. Hubster brought me coffee and I'm not even drinking it. I'm probably going to, I'll leave them in the tray, I think, for a little bit, just so y'all can all see all the colors I'm using, which, again, I'm so zoomed in, guys, it almost fuzzes out when I get that close. But it's got a lot of nice browns here. Again, I can't read them. Dark, what is this? It's raw umber. Okay, I caught a glimpse of it. It's raw umber. And then I'm going to make a chart with all the names so that when I look at it and go, oh, okay, that's so and so, because I can't read these guys. It's gold. Thanks, Janet. All right, so now I'm going to come in here with the umber and I'm going to start doing a little bit of shading. I'm going to leave a few little light bits, but I want it darker on the edges, but I still want you to see the edge. I don't want to lose that edge, so I'm just going to but they're so creamy. That's just the best word to describe it. What would you say, Kathy, is the best word to describe the luminance? And again, Kathy has used them a lot, so she can probably describe them much better. And y'all check out, peruse the awesomeness. That is Kathy Arbor. Yeah, the Streamathon, and for those of y'all that have not heard us talk about, we use streamers, or is that us use streamers? Anyway, we're going to do a Streamathon on New Year's Eve. Music Scrap Jean, which I've posted her. I posted her blog link where she has the time chart. Just go to themusicalscrapper.blogspot.com and she has a chart over there of everybody's time. I'm streaming, I think it's from 8:15 to 10:15, something like that. And Some are streaming 1 hour, some are streaming 2 hours, and it's a 24-hour streamathon on New Year's. They're oil based, yeah. So, oh, that's Kathy's tip or thing she wants to say about them is that they're oil based, yeah, as opposed to wax based like Prismacolor. And Kathy, you have the Pablos too. Are the Pablos oil or wax based? I think they're wax based, right? And the luminance are oil based. Yeah, thanks, Terry. That Terry just put in the link for the girls in the chat. So I'm just going to add a little bit of dark there, and I'm going to just put a little bit of shade. I'm going to start shading this leather. Hi and bye, Fancy. Hi, I'm a bug. That's like Iffy. I haven't seen Iffy for a while. Pablo's. No, these are. I think these are more expensive than the Pablos. The Luminance. The Luminance are very expensive. That's why if they weren't a gift, I would not be coloring with them. They're expensive. Pablos are not cheap. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mad Rat. You too. Night, Marilyn. Sleep well. Thanks for being here. Okay, so the Pablos are wax. And she says, but they're creamy too. I have a couple Pablos that I bought at Blick one time, like at the store bought. Went to the store, I think, and bought a couple. But I haven't really. Again, I haven't played with. I've been a Prisma girl, guys. That's my. That's what I'm used to using for all these years. So they're all new. These are new to me. Kathy said Pablos are half the price of the Luminance. Yeah, these Luminance are not cheap, people. And again, they're oil based, like Kathy said. Kathy, put your link in there for the girls to have your Ustream and your YouTube. It's Kathy Arbor. If y'all are watching the recording on YouTube and want to find her on YouTube, it's Kathy Arbor. All right, so there you go. So you see I'm adding a little bit of shading here on these leather bits hanging off of them. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on a little shadow under these little belt pieces here. I'm not sure, they're just some kind of metal, which I'm going to put Wink Stella on when I'm done. Right now I'm just kind of coloring in a little bit of, trying to make this kind of look like leather. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, guys. Well, it's an experiment. Y'all are along with me for the experiment. To see how, and I'm kind of, I don't know if I should be, but I'm just kind of using them like I would a Prisma, layering colors. Now that I'm using them, I'll probably go watch some other people use them too. So Kathy's Ustream it's at Ustream and then creating dash n dash my dash art dash journal. Creating in my art journal with the dashes in between. That's Ustream. But on YouTube, she's Kathy Arbor. What Terry say? Dee's throwing shade. Yeah, throwing shade, Terry. And I'm using a very light touch, just like I do with my Prismacolors. Very light layers, guys. The lighter layers you do, the more layers you can have. You start bearing down, and they won't. It just stops blending. You know, when you get it, no matter probably any brand of pencil, it's just light layers, guys. Light layers. So we can all learn together. And again, you know, if they are not cheap. I'm not going to lie. So, you know, use what you can afford, Prismacolor or whatever. But we love our pencils around here, no matter what kind. We're pencil lovers, that's for sure. All of us that like coloring. Eileen says if you like peanut butter and jelly, buy the whole set of Luminance. Exactly, Eileen. Eileen sent me my first 12. She sent me my first 12. And I really like them, but you gotta say, guys, unless you are really wanting to work at blending, your basic colors together, 12 for me was not enough to do portraits or anything like that. But they're nice, don't get me wrong. Right, Eileen? Okay, so a little bit of that. And again, it's a little, let me try to pop it up here. There we go. Well, let's start over here. Let's go that to that. And then you can see a little better of color. And so you can't even see the pink on his feet. His feet are very pink, and it's just not showing up. All right, so now I want a little bit more of a, again, probably not going to be able to read the color. Burnt ochre, okay. Burnt ochre color. I want a little bit more leathery color, right? So I'm just going to kind of go over the brown that I've already done. Not the lightest part, but the brown I just put down. Let me do one here in the middle and see if you can tell the difference. I'm just going to go over it with the reddish brown, the burnt ochre. Is it burnt ochre? I always call this color sienna, burnt ochre. And go right over the brown that I just put down to make that brown a little richer in color. Again, not bearing down, barely coloring. I want you to just be able to see the difference between the two. So maybe you can see the difference. It's a slight difference between this one and this one. Can you see? I'm just like putting another layer, another color on top. And every paper is going to be different too. And I know that I have some tooth on this because of the watercolor, because of the Neocolor 2 crayon, water soluble crayons. That gave me some tooth on this. But every paper is different. Bye, Janet. And y'all don't forget. I think Janet's streaming at 1. Did she say? Thanks, Janet. I think she said she's streaming at 1, so y'all make sure and go over and see Janet. Monkey Island Madness. Janet. I'll be off with the hubster, who's not quite pacing outside my door yet, but I'm going to finish his leather bits, guys, and then I'm going to go. I think you can tell it's a little richer. Yeah, you can tell? Okay, good. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning. Hope everybody had a good holiday, Christmas, holiday season. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, Janet is going to stream at 1. Y'all make sure she records now. Be careful, rodents love to chew leather. That's right. Mad Rat would know. You would know. Mad Rat has her pet rats. You probably really like this then, Mad Rat, this book. Mouse Guard. All right, I'm going to back up here in a second, guys. All right, so now I want a nice, like a tan color. Let's see, do I want this color maybe? This may be a little, let's see what color that is. Yeah. Is it burnt ochre? Burnt ochre, dark, light? I can't read. It's a burnt ochre something, but I can't read it. Sorry. But it's a tan color. It's kind of a tan color. So I'm just going to almost try to just get any little bit of edges that may not be quite blended. Kind of finished up with that. I think I really do want some darker brown on some of those little lines there. I want to darken up some of that leather, but right now I'm just kind of blending all the last little bit of the color I've already put down. And again, guys, I'll make a color chart so I can read you the colors. I can't read them off the pencils, so I need to read them off of a color chart. So I'll chart them out for you. All right, so I do want a little bit darker brown. Maybe darker than the brown I was using. Let's see. I think I will go with the, let's see if I can read it. Castle Earth. Dark brown. It's the darkest brown in the set that I can see. So it's dark. Guys, I use the Prismacolor Premier. I mean, I'd be using Beryl if I could, round them up off of eBay. But that's what I use. As far as I know, the only Prismacolor, what is there? Prismacolor Verithin, which are very hard. They're a hard pencil and they don't blend. They're good for little areas if you just want a solid color. The Verithins, but they don't blend. The Premiers are the ones that blend. Hey, Sandra, I think is how she pronounces it. Sandra. I've been calling her Zandra because she has it with an X. So I was thinking it was Zandra. Okay, so now I'm just going to get in here with just a little, maybe you can see just a little bit of touch of the dark brown. Kind of gives it a little bit more depth. And again, you might have to do a few blends, but I'm trying to use the accents that are already there as the places that I'm going to add a little bit darker texture for the leather. See, there's little lines and little dots and little areas. I'm just going to get in there and kind of trying to stay in frame. There's another Prismacolor that's thicker. I don't know. You mean a watercolor? No, I know they have a watercolor pencil. Watercolor one? I'm not talking about the ones they don't make anymore, like the Barrel. I'm not talking about the Barrel Prismacolor or the Sanford. They don't make, those are old ones. It's Premier is their soft core. Premier is their soft core now. Okay. I just like that. It's kind of like Xanadu, you know? You have Xandra and Zandra. I just like, it's like Xanadu. So you can just see, and you just keep building it up, guys. You just keep, you know, until you get it right where you want it. But if as long as you use light layers like this, you can keep building up and building up and building it up because you're not bearing down and getting it all jacked up. And I haven't, again, I'm not proficient or haven't tried using the blender, you know. Kathy says she doesn't really use the blender, so. The watercolor, yeah, yeah. I have a few of the watercolor pencils, but if I'm using watercolor, I'm pretty much using my Neocolors. I have, you know, the watercolor, a little watercolor set, and, you know, I use a little bit of watercolor here and there. But mostly, if I use watercolor, it's my little Koi watercolor set, my Neocolors, or heaven forbid, as Eileen would say, my Inktense. Yeah, layers are key. They are. And you can't bear down. If you start smashing down, you're not going to be able to blend. You could probably get a darker color on top of another color, but they're not going to blend if you start bearing down. I know I say it all the time, but it bears repeating. You like that, Terry? Yeah. Don't jack your layers up, people. Terry. So anyway, I'm going to back out here though, so you can kind of see the whole picture here, because I'm zoomed in about 5 clicks, maybe more. There's little creases in the old like the old leather, you know, and it's much darker in person. There, see, oh, it faded out again, flashed out again. It's very dark, but it's not holding it for me. All right, guys, let me go ahead and back out. There you go. There, look real quick. There's the color. There's the color right there, guys. Take a quick peek before it goes away. You see how rich that looks, though? Look how rich that looks. Guys, crack me up. I do think I want just a little darker under there'll be more of a shadow right under that little axe handle there. Put a little more purple and blue under there. Maybe another darker color, but. Okay, so let me back out, guys. Well, I had zoomed in about 8 or 9 clicks. Okay, so there we go. You can see how it kind of is coming along. Right? So you can see how washed out and pale. See how pale that all is right there with just the initial watercolor or the Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons, how it gave that a wash. Well, that gives it the tooth. It gives it a nice tooth for the pencil to, grab onto. So all we've done is the blue and purple and, a light blue on the cloak, and then, about 3 or 4 shades of brown on the little leather strap things. So, thanks, guys. So we'll continue on. I won't color anymore on this page. If I color some more in the book, I'll go to a different page. And always remember to put, I have a piece of cardstock in the back. That's just so you don't dent the next page. I mean, you can't help but do some, water buckling to the back. But you always, no matter what color book you use, put a piece of cardstock in between, okay? For one thing, that will prevent, like when I go to color this side, if I have a piece of cardstock here, I'm not going to transfer any of this pencil to this page. You want to, when you're coloring, just make it a habit to put a piece of cardstock between your pages, okay? So you don't transfer anything over or anything like that. Yeah, it's looking good. Dede, you color match faster. Yeah. Well, you got to remember, guys, pencil is my forte. It's what I do my commissions in. Animal, people, that's what I use, color pencil. A little bit of acrylic, but mostly color pencil for the most part. So I use them a lot. So now I haven't used my this is the first real, major blend that I've done with the luminance. And yeah, I really like them. Like I said, my only critique of them would be it's hard to read the gold on wood, the gold writing on wood. That's hard to read. It's tricky business, as Paula would say. So yeah. So I'm going to go hang out with the hubster for a bit. And yeah, I won't color anymore on this till we do it again together. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I will, y'all hope y'all had a good Christmas. And again, I will do a more of a review of my mouse guard. Here's my mouse guard 12 by 12 coffee table size book, The History of Mouse Guard, David Petersen. I did a quick little flip earlier. If you didn't see it, I'll do more of one later. This was my Christmas present from Miss Kelly P. So thank you, Miss Kelly. And yeah, so I love the little characters so much. So yeah. Okay, and hi Sherry. I just saw Sherry up there. Hi Sherry. Anybody else I missed? So yeah, y'all go hang out with Janet in about an hour or so. Thanks. Hi Sandy with a P. Who else have I missed? Probably missed. There's artist, poet girl, Jamie, Burn, Pink, Becky, Bloom, Crafter. Thanks everybody for being here. I know I missed Corrine, Juanita, Debbie, Denise in New Jersey, Dragon Slayer Sarah, Grammy, Gecko, Margaret. I hope you feel better. Stay, heal up quickly, Margaret. Anybody else here? Patty D, thanks everybody. Queen Pam, good to see you. Whippy, hey Whippy. And all the lurkers, nice to have you. So thanks. Thanks, everybody. All right, y'all take care. We'll see. As far as I know, I'll be here Wednesday. So, okay, guys. Have a great